A happy soul is the best defense for a cruel world. Hey there, how's it going, you guys? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So what do we got going on tonight with these crazy cryptocurrency markets? Well, lo and behold, the cryptocurrency market is back, but is it temporary? We're seeing the price of 7,100. Are we going to be slipping back down, or are we going to be seeing the price climbing upwards and onwards as we break into 2020, the year that has been long prophesized by so many Bitcoin evangelists and YouTubers and technical gurus, right? Talking about how, hey, the price is going to take off in 2020. We're going to be seeing $100,000, $1 million Bitcoin, right? Well, time to pay the piper, right? We're going to have this Bitcoin price. 2020 is here. Yes, you can hold it off for a little bit and say it takes a moment for the price to get factored in, but May will be here nonetheless. The year will continue to roll because nothing stops the sun as we orbit it. So are you strapped in? Are you ready for this ride? Because as we just took a 10% pump up yesterday, 2% slide back now, I can just imagine what's up ahead, right? Because it's been an amazing trek and journey so far for those last 4 years, right? I was here for the last halvening. I'll be here for this halvening. So it's starting to feel very promising, very monumental to know that this is the third halvening in Bitcoin, and I've seen two. I will have seen two. And you know who we have here evangelizing with us as well is my co-host, Sammy.
Good evening, everyone.
So, Samantha, are you happy to be out here this evening?
Of course.
Are you starting to feel a little bit like an OG here in the space? I mean, we got 2 years of a YouTube show with our free help desk, which is linked to down below, of course. So we love it when we get mail from you guys. And if you just want to drop a line and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? Checking in, right? You can do that through our social media platforms because we're posting to Facebook and we're posting to Twitter. I've actually kind of slacked off a little bit on the channel lately, and I feel bad about it. You know, we were just talking about this the other day, Samantha, about how, you know, we keep saying we're going to come out here the next day and then life gets in the way, right? I mean, our kid busted his eye and had to get a couple stitches.
Yeah, 3 stitches in the eyebrow.
Then we're working late and getting home. But you know what? That's not really an excuse.
It's not.
Right? Excuses are the tools of the weak. And I don't want to be weak.
They are the crutches for the lazy. I mean, yes. Yes.
So we're here tonight, and I am making a solemn promise, right, to try to get back out here more often because this last 4-day stretch was a little bit too long for me. I missed you guys.
It was.
Please
we felt crappy.
Comment in the chat. Let us know what you got going on. Got a little bit of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm going to try to see if we can't go a little bit longer than normal. I'd love to see you guys come out and comment and let us know what's going on. Let us know what you're thinking about Bitcoin. Have you been revitalized with the price getting back over $7,000? Do you think that we're going to see $10,000 here real soon? Right? Or do you think that we're going to be sliding backwards and that we're going to be seeing 6,000, 5,500, 5,200 possibly, and that the bear market has just begun and that this halvening isn't going to be like the others? We're hearing wild speculations as the time grows closer and closer, literally everything from 2,500 to $1 million. So supply and demand is one good aspect, but adoption, right? That's something that I'm constantly talking about here on the channel. I think that is the main underlying fundamental asset or key ingredient that is needed in order to make Bitcoin get up off the ground, right? We could all run around and trade old tires if we wanted to for money, as long as everybody agreed to it.
I know, right? You're hilarious. So, yes, another day of doing hotel rooms and watching the Cartoon Network. And yeah, the Teen Titan-ness actually had a thing about money, and they were saying, like, why is money money? And the Robin guy is very retentive. We'll just go with that. And yes, he started saying this is why this, and if we did this, lo and behold, through the episode, they started trading bees instead of money, literally bees. They were all like, I have a queen bee. Can I have a slice of pizza? And he was like, and here is your change. 3 bumblebees and a wasp. Yes. Yes.
I personally the ideal of just moving out of a money that isn't designed to make the rich richer, right? And to keep the poor trapped in this systematical slavery of selling your time to help make the rich money so that you can just have the basic necessities in order to, put the shelter over your head and the food to eat and the insurances that they tell you have to have and stuff like that.
Yes. All right. We actually have people.
We have people here. Oh, good. I've ranted on long enough. Let's hear who we got.
All right.
I appreciate all of you for coming out here.
So we got Zaza. We have Josh. We have John from Malibu. We have Vention.
All right.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody. I really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. Hit the thumbs up. Maybe we'll be able to blast this video out and get some more people in that are hanging out watching other YouTube videos right now and say, hey, let's watch something live. Let's not watch a rerun.
Vention goes, you watch that? Vention, I am very Peter Panish in real life. And yeah, I do. Yep. It's either that or like the horrible Snapped or like, the Forensic Files or childish cartoons. And I lean towards the childish cartoons in daytime television. It's what happens. Cable is not awesome.
All right, so let's get back to Bitcoin. What are you thinking, Samantha? I mean, it has been a little bit of a lull. Once again, it did feel like it was the bottom of the bear market as we watched the price drop down from 6,000 to 3,000. It's kind of how it's been feeling this last little bit as we've watched the price slide down from the $9,000 mark to 7 and then into 6. And here we are now looking at 7 again. But I don't know. Right? Christmas is almost here. The New Year's about to come and take off. Everyone's going to start beating the war drum, right? And we see the cryptocurrency markets rally, right? You can get out here and pump the FUD in the news for 4 or 5 days, and then all of a sudden you'll watch the price of Bitcoin come down 5% or more. So what's going to happen when everyone starts beating the drum once again? Not that I'm saying to go out and buy Bitcoin. I'm just saying that these are the things that I'm starting to think about.
Yes, just it is a pattern. It is like human psyche-ness. I mean, yes, this
But
is
it going to be a bubble? Because that's what we keep seeing, is that we keep seeing these outlandish bubbles with Bitcoin for the price. And it's to be aware, right? We're not new investors. We've all been here. We've already seen 2 of these bubbles, apparently, right? We've seen 20,000 and we've seen 14,000. So if we see another bubble and we're looking at 50 or 100K, are we going to be smart enough to take profit this time, but still also keep our foot in the game with Bitcoin, knowing that we're actually eyeing $1 million Bitcoin the next bubble? Because Bitcoin sets higher lows.
Fenton says, I have no idea where this is going. Over the long haul, I am very bullish, though. We all are, Fenton.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, we've all been here a minute, right? We've all put our chips and stake to the game.
I mean, if you're hodling, man, then yeah, like you've signed up, like it's happening.
Right, at this point, we all got tattoos. It's like that. It's forever. It's permanent. There's no getting out.
It's just why cash in now? Why drop your bags now? Like what's like? Yes, like
this is a staring competition, pretty much. We're all just staring at the screen, waiting to see who's gonna blink first.
Oh, that's horrible, but funny. Okay, so. John from Malibu says, took a little taste of the BTC low and payday is tomorrow.
Nice.
Yes. All right. John from Malibu also says that Greta stole all of my Bitcoin and forced me to buy her climate coin.
And just to be honest,
Eugene
am
likes
a fan
the
of
Greta.
I do think that this ideal of we need to put things in front of ourselves, right? Like this is an ideal of mine as well. And of course, the planet and the environment is number one.
Suffering is not really big in the grand scheme. Right. Yes.
So when it comes to that, I wish more people could start getting on board with these ideals, because then the world really would be a better place.
I mean, if everybody just sucked it up a little, I'm not saying a lot, just a little. I mean, We can't seem to get anybody to do anything unanimously for very long.
And remember, it always comes back down to you only need food and water and air, and they're all pretty much free. So, all right, let's see. What do we got going on for Bitcoin news? Well, everyone's talking about Plus Token, right? They're saying that this is the reason the price of Bitcoin's down. Talking about how they're laundering their Bitcoins through like a whole bunch of Bitcoin mixers and launderers and stuff like that. And then they're dumping them into some over-the-counter exchange and then going to Hobai, and then they're going out onto the open market. So, in other words, what? They're putting fungibility back in Bitcoin if it's actually working. Right. The next thing is that everyone's always talked about how this really couldn't be done. Right. I don't see anybody getting arrested.
I mean,
right. I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that are being turned into some sort of fiat currency. And my question is okay, everyone's saying this is the reason it's suppressing the Bitcoin price. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying that if, we did see paperwork and, reports from Chain Analysis breaking down the mixing, because it is such a large amount of coins that it is somewhat trackable, because Bitcoin is only pseudo-anonymous, that they're going to the over-counter, they're going to Hobai, right? We know what's happening. Well, how come there isn't like international police getting information from Hobai, especially as we're looking at a bunch of regulation unrolling in the new year here? Not even this new credited investor stuff in the United States, but the EU is supposed to be having a bunch of stuff with crypto.
Yeah.
So it's just this ideal that this is really happening and no one's doing anything about it. I want to wait and see how this one plays out. I think everyone's looking for an scapegoat to try to there's a reason, a good reason why Bitcoin's 6,500. There we go. They're dumping. There's always somebody dumping. There's always some sort of scam. There's always something going on in Bitcoin if you look hard enough to say why it's going down. Right?
Vention gave us a $5 super chat.
Ooh, Vention. Thank you.
He says,
we
please, if the supply of new BTC is cut in half, they're saying it won't affect the price. Give me a break.
It wouldn't affect the price if half the people got out of Bitcoin, right?
If there was no get everybody to lose their Bitcoin,
and the hash rate just cut down, right? So that the people that did keep mining were getting twice as much Bitcoin.
See what you're saying.
But I mean, I think the 10x growth though is where adoption. I mean, of course, supply demand. If everybody that's in here keeps wanting to get a little bit of Bitcoin and add into their HODL stack, and then of course there's people in impoverished areas having financial crises using Bitcoin to try to buy their milk, bread, and eggs and hold on to some of their value.
I'm just thinking of the dragon.
But to have this happening is what puts the price on Bitcoin, right? And then they're saying that the price is being not so volatile because of futures markets, right? So it's just, if everything stayed the same, of course the price is going to have to go up. Now, if you add adoption and you start getting more than this 1.5% of the population into Bitcoin, like we're starting to talk about with Jack Dorsey going into South Africa, the stuff that's happening in Southeast Asia, adopting blockchain. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can point your finger at saying about how cryptocurrencies are starting to become more widely known and accepted as a form of payment.
Yes. I know no one can see me shaking my head. So, yes. All right. So, Zaza says, oh, not like this, Eugene. And Vengeance says, global warming. Real, please. I don't know, man. The glaciers are supposedly shrinking. I haven't met any recently, so who knows?
I know that arguing and debating about a situation never really gets to the end result, and that is to find answers, right? So I would say that there needs to be study done, right? A real study done that's going to give us a definitive answer on what's happening. Because I know that we keep talking about that. South Africa is seeing the driest and hottest summer. We're looking at Australia now about to see record temperatures. Europe seeing record temperatures. Florida was very hot this summer. Is this just the beginning of a trend?
Okay.
Not our topic, right? We're here for Bitcoin. This
But
is something
yes,
I know
but
enough to.
yes,
But
yes.
these things all go hand in hand because it is about the revolution with Bitcoin, which is about a better financial future. And the ideal of a better future goes with saving the environment. And it goes with a lot of these other movements and rights that people are starting to really make headway with. And it does seem like 2020 is hopefully going to be a year towards making the world a better place. Right. Everybody is starting to realize that things are not right. And if we keep going
Oh,
the
it's
way that
that
we're
decade
going,
one. Everybody gets
right.
all squirrely on the decade. It's another decade. It's the passing of a decade. Yes. Okay. So John from Malibu says, "Hey, I am a cannabis, hemp, and CBD business guy. I am all about green." And he also gave us a $10 super chat.
Buddy.
What? He says, "I am paying to keep the Christmas lights on." Thank you.
Samantha had found like some CBD oil in a roller thing.
Yes, like a little, yeah,
and
whatever, like
I
a
have carpal
roller
tunnel,
thingy.
and it's been bothering me quite a bit.
Yeah,
lately.
if you don't see the little
And
hand brace.
she was rubbing it on my wrist, and it's the jury's still out on whether or not I felt it do anything.
It's
for
also questionable on okay.
See, the fire didn't last very long.
No, it did not. It's also questionable on like what strength that CBD oil was. I mean, we're talking, I found it. So there we go.
I'm not usually one to take medicine like ibuprofen or aspirin or anything like that.
You take nothing.
No.
You are a super old man. No, he will take maybe aspirin. Aspirin, like, yes. Or you're like, I don't know, all that newfangled medicine. Just give me some aspirin.
All right. So what do we got going on in the chat? I did have a couple more things I wanted to talk about briefly.
Vengeance says all the polar bears should be drowned by now. The only people pushing this want to make billions on carbon credits. And if we're going to go about global warming, don't expect that people won't push back. Push back, Vengeance. And Sasa says nuclear power would solve most of the issues, but apparently people are afraid of it. You don't say.
You know, every time we bring up weather on this channel.
This is why we only have to talk about crypto because apparently it goes all sorts of squirrely.
Well, back to Bitcoin. We're seeing that Backed is looking at all-time record high volumes again. So what does this mean? Where are we at? Are we starting to see some more of this integration of traditional finance into the cryptocurrency space? Or are we going to go with some more of the crypto chino conspiracy theories that are popping out every single day, talking about how Back Binance and I don't know, every other person under the sun is.
I hate that he sings. I can't. I have to say it out loud, people. I am sorry. I hate that he sings. Oh, okay.
You're not enjoying his days of Christmas.
He sang before that. Like, I mean, I remember when we were watching whatever it was, and he was like reverbing like 80s songs to Bitcoinness, and I could not take it. I could not take it.
So, I mean, I don't know. Everybody was happy about Backed, right? Being physically settled, waited for it, got postponed a bunch of times, right? And then it came out, and now it's not physically settled. Now there's conspiracy theories going along with it. So, I do remember the point when everybody started being like ETF, right? And everyone was getting excited about traditional markets, and a bunch of OGs were talking about Bitcoin, and they were like, why are we excited? Like that this is all to get away from them. So here we are in the beginning of this, I guess, and it is starting to be like, well, why did we want this? Right? Because here we are saying, well, now they've just found a way to take some of the volatility out with futures. Speculation and manipulation are in the tinfoil hat now. So all of these things are going to be growing pains of it, though, right? We have talked a lot about how Bitcoin had to go through growing pains in the beginning, like the ASICs, right? Yes. Overcoming the ASIC boost and getting segregated witness adopted And there's been a million other milestones along the way. And apparently the integration and intersection of traditional finance is just going to be another one of them. Hopefully it's not another Mount Gox kind of situation where the price of Bitcoin is suppressed and down in the dumps for a really long time. And it's just another one of the speed bumps along the way where we got to learn to slow the roll a bit.
All right. So John from Malibu says, aspirin, you're going to rehab, Eugene. I know. Vengeance says, I am all for the thorium reactors. Oh, wait. The thorium? Oh, nuclear. Okay, sorry. Okay, so nuclear reactors. But these... Oh, my... Okay, no, yeah, we're just going... He went too far. Nuclear is nuclear, bro. I do not want to know the difference. I even watched that horrible Chernobylness with you, and nope, don't care. Okay, Zaza says debate is healthy. We still love you guys. I know. All right, Crypto Magician says...
I think healthy debate is good.
It is.
I think debate that it gets stagnant, like how governmental debate is right now, right? A lot of times in government, they debate about things for a really long time, and it actually gets you nowhere, right? That's the progress.
All right, so Crypto Magician says Chino also can't pronounce anything correctly, and it is Chico. Eugene can't pronounce anything correctly.
I rename people as I see fit.
We do just have names for everybody. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the world is always just a matter of how I view it, right?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible because when I'm not doing the chat and later on he'll be like, wait, so who is that one? And I'll be like, that's blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh my God. So yeah, no, I butchered that name. And it was like, yes, people. No, there's nothing. For the first, 6 years I knew you, he added an A to the end of my last name. Just cause.
Okay. Are you good over there, Samantha, right, making fun of me?
I am not making fun of you. I am just pointing out.
Yeah, pointing out on live internet.
Chico, Chino, Churro, whatever. We all know who it is. Oh, Invention tells me that I need to learn about the thorium reactors. He says learn about thorium reactors, Samantha. All right. Apparently.
All right,
I don't know. I don't.
Ooh.
Nuclearness scares me. I am right there with, yeah.
All right. So I did have another thing to talk about. A question had been brought to my attention, right? And I think there was some misconception along with it as well, that they were talking about this generation of a new address every time you send a transaction, right? And talking about why. Like, why are we generating a new address every time we send a transaction?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it had me thinking, right? Because of course, there's always the simple go-to answer that, oh, you're supposed to generate a new address every single time because it helps protect your identity. Well, the ideal of exposing your private keys had come up, and I had told the person that this is not correct, that, exposing your private keys is only something that you could do, through mismanagement of your private key, right? Or your hardware device, but sending transactions can never expose your private key. And then I was like, well, it's to help protect your identity. But then why are we protecting our identity? What is the point in protecting our identity when we send transactions, when we're pretty much buying it at a KYC exchange, right? We're falling into that trap that JT Weatherman and Trace Mayer are talking about, where we're all pretty much using a hardware wallet and attaching to, Trezor or Ledger's servers to check our balances, and they're logging our IP addresses, right?
Yeah.
And even if you are using VPNs, that, eventually the stuff is breaking down. And if you wanted to hide your identity,
Yeah, you would have to go, yes, farther than,
Yes,
yeah.
it is. You're on the verge of almost impossible right now
Mhm.
because of the pseudo anonymity, the KYC, and all of the stuff that's been put into place over the 11 years that we're coming up on now to keep track of Bitcoin. So why bother? Right? That was where my question started.
See what you're going with.
It keeps your balance private, right? Because you can only do blockchain analysis, simply as an individual to figure out, one address, one hop at a time, right? It requires AI and sophisticated computers and algorithms and all of that, and chain analysis, the company, right? Pretty much to be able to do in-depth analysis of blockchain in order to figure out money laundering and all of this stuff, like the
Yes.
division of dividing it down and then grouping it back together in large sums and stuff like that.
Yes.
So why bother generating a new address? Is there a real point in it?
Well, client says there's 2 reasons. Preventing double spending and to vanish your path from being identified through the reuse.
Through the reuse. So in other words, finding out your balance.
Mm-hmm. Or yes, like, yes.
And then to prevent double spending. How is that? And double spending is a situation of blocks being mined. There would have to be bad nodes.
Client says if you reuse your address and someone makes a man in the middle attack, he could double spend your amount. I mean, that would be some very trickiness.
Right? I mean, this is not something it's just that when he had asked this question, I just didn't want to give the generic standard answer, right? It is always to question the stuff that you think is true. So it's just I always, want to protect my wallet. I want to try to protect my identity. I'm assuming at most points in time that I'm losing, the battle when it comes to the government or anybody who has $1 million or more that wants to figure out how much Bitcoin Eugene Forrest has. They got the capability to figure out how much Bitcoin Eugene Forrest has. But Eugene Forrest is not just going to make it easy peasy on you. Right.
No, you're not a very easy peasy kind of person.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sitting there holding my driver's license up to the window with the window rolled all the way up when I know I'm getting pulled over for the DUI. Okay. I'm at least going to try.
What's even funnier is Eugene doesn't drink. So it's just, But
I thought about it, right? I thought, I'm going to be the guy that definitely puts. Yes, officer.
Would you like to just cuff me now? I am being detained. I understand.
So, man in the middle attacked. I'll have to look more into this. Thank you, client. I appreciate that. This is something I don't really know much about. So
more to ponder over on the.
But what else do we have? I mean, what else do we have besides knowing your wallet, knowing how much money is in your wallet, which is, that is a private matter. I do definitely understand wanting to keep that. But
I mean, we don't have any kind of super scary amounts, but yes,
but we have the addresses of big exchanges.
That's true.
They give out their addresses so that we can see like the verification, proof of keys, right? That they have the funds that they say that they have.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just that maybe we need to not be always saying and doing the same things that we have been doing in Bitcoin. And it is maybe to question some of our traditional stances, right? The cryptocurrency, Bitcoin market and evolution is constantly changing. The ideal of having, private Bitcoin those days are long gone. Pretty much we're just making new addresses to try to make it so that, like Vention out there, you can't go look and see how much money I have, right? And I can't go look and see how much money you got, Vention, right?
Yep, you just get to see
You
a
may know-
small
right.
portion of whatever you let, whatever, you know, yes, what you choose to let people see.
Without effort.
Yes, without extra effort, just with regenerating like new addresses and doing these small things make it so it's a little bit harder than just the dude on the other end of the transaction
Now-
going, woo, how much Bitcoin do you have?
But then,
Nice.
all right. So then let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit more. I want to get my hands on Bitcoin that nobody knows is mine and cannot be traced back to me. How do I do it? Peer-to-peer.
Yeah, but see, yeah.
Samurai wallet on a smartphone that's never been attached to the IP address at your house.
I know, but like the KYC kills you. Like,
But what KYC? Like, I mean, that's why you get it peer-to-peer. You find, I mean, we are getting to be enough people where I'm sure that you can
that is
message
it. I
out
mean,
on
yes, what you're going to do.
Facebook
Yeah,
or
drive
something
2 hours
and-
or something
right.
and go. Yeah, go
Yes.
meet somebody in a
I'm just saying, like,
Starbucks
if you're
somewhere.
if you're a diehard, I wanted to get $500 worth of Bitcoin, and I wanted no KYC, and I wanted to make sure no one knew that it was me because I'm going to go buy illegal things off the dark market or something silly, or I want to.
You want to skirt the IRS,
I wanna
whatever
skirt
it
the
is.
IRS.
Yes, yes, whatever it is.
I mean, how much effort would you really have to put into this? Because I was thinking, like, all right, so I'm just going to be one of those people that I'm going to live like a normal person, but I'm a Bitcoin millionaire and I just don't want anybody to know. But then at the same time,
frugal miserness, yes.
but then you're still going to go into fiat cash. That's your
At
goal.
some point, yes.
And that's like, that's the big chink in the chain.
Yes, it is. It is.
And if you're thinking you're going to hold out Bitcoin until you're touching phones, as you like to say, Samantha, then, I mean, we're going to have fungibility built in by then.
That is true.
There'll be layers with privacy in it.
Mimble-wimbleness. Ugh. Okay. God help me. Harry Potterness.
Okay, so what do we got going on in the chat? What are you guys thinking? I was just trying to give up some thoughts. I was trying to change up the topic instead of always talking about the news. The news has been down. We did have news lately. If there is some news you guys want to talk about, please go ahead, comment in the chat, bring your voice to life with Samantha's beautiful voice as we talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, trying to spread awareness. This was just a question I had about generating new addresses. So, of course, if there's anything you'd like to add, go ahead, put that in the chat as well, and Samantha will read that off because I'm probably just going to send this link to that individual and see if this works as somewhat of an answer.
Right? Maybe. I don't know. See, like it is. I don't know. The problem is that there's never one right answer in Bitcoin. Just like how there's no one answer on
it's because
why
you can't
we
know the
use
future.
it. Yes, like you can never be too protected, but then being the paranoid creeper, like yes, like what level and why are we doing it? You know, how many steps and what should we do to protect our stuff where the average Joe, because I mean, like all right, so John from Malibu and Zaza both were talking about Trace Mayer. So in the chat, no, they were just saying that he is awesome. John from Malibu was saying that he's been listening to him recently, and yeah, Trace Mayer is freaking. But how when he talks about like literally pulling out a laptop that has never ever been connected,
protocol.
Yes,
but it's because he has like $1 billion in Bitcoin.
But that is not what the average Joe Schmo is going to do. But what area should you be in to protect all your stuff?
Well, that's why it's always about the middle of the road, right? It's always about those shades of gray. It's always about moderation. So it is the more you have invested, the more of an education you need, the more that you'll be prepared to make these types of decisions.
Right. I guess if we had billions of dollars, we would be pulling out some brand new, like something that has never seen anything at all and putting
of course.
I mean, billions, millions.
Millions, and I'd start there. Yes, of course.
Hundreds of thousands, and I would start there.
I mean, it is that because you don't know what the future is going to have. You know, for a long time, people thought that Bitcoin was anonymous. They thought that the pseudo-anonymity was enough. Well, all those people over at Silk Road They
Yeah,
know
that
now.
was kind of a smack in the face where it was like, oh, and people went to jail.
So
Hmm.
it is a matter of be prepared, right? Even though you think that you're not stamping your name on it, prepared to be acting as if you're stamping your name on it. Pay your taxes. Is it really worth it? You know, is the $5,000 or $10,000 you have in Bitcoin worth not paying your taxes over? No. Not when you're sitting in jail looking at
Ask
a
Wesley
bunch of
Snipes, man,
guys.
okay? All right. So the pothead is here. Vengeance says to use cash. The pothead says have someone else buy it for you. There you go. Vengeance says to use the mycelium marketplace. And Josh
Okay.
says, I think one use addresses prevent some quantum computer attacks. And client says telling the people to always use a new address also drives the incentive to use the newer addresses format as a side effect.
Say it again.
That when you tell people to always
Wow.
generate a new address, that they're using the newer addresses format
Yes.
as a side effect. Like,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, it depends on how you create your wallet. Because if you didn't make a segregated witness wallet or any of that, or a batching type of deal, then you wouldn't generate those kinds of addresses.
Who doesn't have a it's
But yes,
yes,
but
I get what you're saying.
most wallets are generating a new address every single time. Like you would have to go out of your way to reuse an address. But what if you do reuse an address once or twice? I mean, it's gonna hurt anything?
I mean,
should you take your Bitcoin at that point and then send it, you know, make a couple hops with it using new addresses just to try to hide it again? I messed up, let me do it again.
Just hop it around. Oh, no, just kidding. Come back for the second round, scoop up a little bit more, and then hop some more around.
I mean,
there you go.
Not really, right? Because you should just assume it's one of those things like
I assume because I don't take extra preventative measures in the
you don't
things
take
that
extra preventative measures.
God,
Samantha.
no, you're lucky I use wallets. Okay. So I'm going with the same thing as when I use Google or anything else, that I am pretty sure the man knows what I'm doing. Okay. He knows how much I have. He knows what BTC I have. He knows what, because I'm not doing anything extra. I mean, gone are the days where you really do think that just because you're using a cryptocurrency, you're instantly you are trackable. You are.
Everything is trackable. I mean,
and unless you do extra steps, you really are. I mean, you're pretty much there. And the generating a new address just helps to try to the very first step. What? So that they don't know how much you have from it. The bigger one, the bigger address, the bigger account.
Yeah. So generating a new address is just good practice to try to help keep your balance a secret. If you accidentally use an address or you do use an address multiple times, it's okay. It's not your whole balance. But you should assume that the government and anybody with over $1 million pretty much that wants to know how much Bitcoin you have has the capability of finding out.
And just like the middleman attack, apparently, I mean, they would know how much your amount is.
Well, I mean, then how come they don't try to middleman attack all these exchanges when you know their addresses? And now that we know,
no, I know,
you know what I mean? Like you get the honeypots, all the cryptocurrency honeypots. How come there's not people out there trying to middleman them? Like they're attacked, because there should be transactions coming out of a lot of these exchanges every single block.
Well, just like, oh God, what were we watching? And you were like, oh, so I mean, do we really think and I was like, yes, it is really like Men in Black, life and death, like every day. You just don't know it.
You just don't know it.
So maybe they are. Maybe there is things and they just have preventative measures at these exchanges and we just don't know it. Okay, you never know. I don't know. You don't know.
I would like to say, sometimes I picture these exchanges as just like a floor being rented out in a building.
Oh, yeah.
But like, and then other times I picture them as like these like little Fort Knox where they got like the emergency button and it's like code red, someone's stealing money.
Not the servers.
Not the server. Shut it down. Unplug the system.
All right. So, client says middleman attacks only work if there is basically an undetected eavesdrop in a short time frame. Okay.
You guys, I have to
Simmer
look
on
this
that
up more
one
stuff.
there,
Like,
Eugene.
yeah.
Trust says that his latest darknet experience, Empire Market is down too much, but Apollo Market is better. Aw. I know, right? When we used to
Yeah, we haven't done any of the dark web episodes in a while.
We haven't.
I haven't had a topic really. I mean, besides, you know, getting on, exploring it, figuring out what was what, I kind of started.
Yeah, anybody want to throw in a topic to, because I don't know. I'm not sure what we would talk about.
Yeah. So anything else going on? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because otherwise, I guess we'll start bringing this down to an end. I swear I'm going to try to get out here more, you guys. You know, we're trying. I don't understand what's happening.
For real.
For real, not for play.
Ooh, for real.
But yeah, so we're going to try to get out here. Of course, we're not going anywhere in the long haul. We're still hodling Bitcoin. We still believe in the future. We're still part of this revolution. We're still going to continue to provide our services of the free help desk, linked to down below. And it's all about spreading awareness, right? And we keep hearing people coming back to this factor now. And I'm glad that I see more people starting to come to realize this. Because I don't know if I just seen this early or if I was just quick to catch on to this. That, I mean, I wasn't super big into the altcoins, right? I wasn't super gung-ho on the ICOs. I never really was big at trading. I liked Bitcoin as it was. And it was just that we need more people in this because that's what's going to make it better.
Yes.
I want to use this network, right? Utilization of the Bitcoin network is going to be the key pivotal factor in all of this. We just need more people so that we can actually start using it.
Yeah. I mean, that is my main
Hodling
thing.
Bitcoin is great, except for utilizing the network is going to be the best. The bee's knees.
The bee's knees. But yes, yeah, no. I mean, I really do think it's common sense, and the more people that know about it, it'll be very. I mean, the transition should be very easy. It is like, why are we not? Oh, there is no good reason why we're not using this. Ta-da! Then we have our whole entire adoption. Bam! All right. So the pothead says, "Happy holidays." Thank you, dynamic duo. Hey, you are a funny man. All right. Crypto Logician asked, "Did you claim your free hex from your BTC huddle?"
I did not.
No hex. No hex for us.
I'm not participating. Claiming hex would also mean that you have to pay taxes on it this year. And I'm just...
I think Richard Hart is a pompous ass.
Let's just say, even though it is hard to hide Bitcoin, I still think it can be done. And I'm a man.
You definitely don't need to be putting the freaking flashing light out there.
Yeah.
Like, here's my money stack with the freaking glow in the darkness. All here you go. Yeah, no, that's obvious, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Richard Hart. I really don't want anything to do with the project. I mean, if you guys make money off of it, if someone makes money off of it, awesome. I mean, who said it the best? Was it World Crypto Network that had said it the best? Where it was like, at first he was upset with everyone else for printing their own money. It was all about Bitcoin too. And then he said, maybe I should just print my own money too.
Right.
And, hey, maybe
bandwagons work for lots of people.
Maybe he does have a good mathematical system in order to help everybody make a little bit of money. But you know what? In the end, is it going to revolutionize the world? Is that the cryptocurrency I want to be holding 99% of? No. So why am I going to waste my time? Like I've said, we're busy. We have enough trouble trying to get out here and continuing to talk about Bitcoin and spread awareness as we can. I don't really mess around with the other altcoins. I'm still trying to see if we can't get help to get out to the Forbidden Kingdom this year again in February and pass out more Bitcoin flyers. You know, we all have to fight our fights, and my fight is to continue to spread awareness for Bitcoin because I do believe it's going to change the world.
Yeah. Same here. Alrighty.
All right. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. It's the best thing. I mean, it's the greatest.
Bee's knees.
It's the bee's knees. It's the greatest part of our lives, right? To know that we're part of this Bitcoin community, to know that we're out here seeing history as it happens. The next halving is coming up. I'm excited to be heading into this new year. We'll see you guys again before Christmas. Take care of each other. Do something fun, right? And remember to keep that BTC safe. Later, guys.
Bye, guys.